All right, so we're going to talk about selection tools and destructive and non-destructive ways of editing in Photoshop. So this one is going to be a really important one. So I'm going to ask you to tighten in your seat belts and let's get ready for this ride. So if you look at this layer, you'll notice that I have a layer mask, and that layer mask, what it's doing is actually hiding my background. This is an example of a non-destructive way of removing the background from an image. So we talked a little bit about layer mask before, but we didn't talk about the selection tool and how you can use the selection tool in conjunction with the layer mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete this layer mask. Even though it took a really long time to get this clean, I'm going to delete it anyway. And let's look at the original image. The original image is this. So let's look at some of our selection tools. One of the most basic selection tool is the rectangular marquee and the elliptical marquee tool, which basically allows you to select in shapes. So if I, grab this and I had this selected to show you a non-destructive way of selecting everything inside of my selection, I'll just grab my layer mask, and as soon as I click it, look what happens. Now I have this image, and I can move this around and just treat this like a little image by itself. And I will be able to do the same exact thing. I'm press Command D to deselect. I can do the same exact thing with the rectangular marquee tool. So you might want to take an image like this and create a profile picture, and this is or something similar to a profile picture, but this is how you would do it, or a non-destructive way of doing it using the layer mask. Let me show you another selection tool. Deselect, Command D. So the Lasso tool is another selection tool that's pretty cool, but it's not good for precise edits. So if you just kind of want to get a general selection, this will be how you would do it. You could just kind of get everything around the main object, and instead of doing the layer mask, I'm going to do this in a destructive way. And the destructive way that I'm thinking is, well, it's a little non-destructive, but it's still kind of destructive a little bit. It's just less, it's more destructive than layer mask, I'll put it like that. So I'm going to press Command J, and what that does is create a new layer, and if I hide my original layer, that's the new layer. So it's a little bit, it's still not really destructive, but it's it is what it is. So let me show you a totally destructive way. So let's say I have this selected, right? And just to show you what I mean, if I press the letter Q is showing me what I have selected. Q, everything in pink is deselected, everything that's not in pink is selected. So I want to delete my selection. So instead of having my selection selected, I'm going to inverse my selection. So I'm going to go to Select, Inverse. Now when I press Q, it's the opposite. So everything else is deselected, or the opposite. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So now if I just press delete, this is a destructive way of removing my background. Why is that destructive? Because look at my layer. There's no way that I can get my layer back without pressing undo or going into my history panel to reverse what I did. So let's say I did this and then I started doing other things, and I did so much that it's not this actual action where I had a background is not even available to undo or go back to. Then then that's why it's destructive, because is completely destroyed and there's no way I can get it back. So that's the difference between a destructive and a non-destructive way of editing your your work or removing the background. So let's talk a little bit more about some of these other selection tools, like the quick selection tool. If you just click and drag, you can quickly select this. Now if I press Command D, I'm going to go to my magic wand. And I really like the magic wand because let's say if this image was all white, and you know, I could probably just grab the background and then delete the background. And some people like doing stuff like this. I don't particularly do this, but you can click the background and start deleting parts of it. But that works better if the background was one solid color. In this case, these are many different shades of blue, so it won't work as well. Now, while you have either the magic wand selected or the quick selection or the object selection tool, either one of those selected, you can go to select object at the top, and what Photoshop will do is calculate and see and kind of say, I think I know where the object is, and I'm going to select it. And it did. Sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it doesn't. But I want you to notice a few things. It's not perfect. So how do we edit this if it's not perfect? You remember when we press Q to see what was selected? We can edit it in the same way. So if we press Q, and I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to grab my paintbrush. So if I have my paintbrush here, and let's change my size, and I'm going to change my hardness to maybe about 50%. And notice what I'm doing. I'm actually adding on or taking away from my selection. So I need to change my color from black to white. And now I'm adding to my selection right here. So I can go in and just continue to add. And if I press X, notice when I press X, look at my swatch, swatch right here. It's swapping. Every time I press X, it changes from black to white. So I can actually add, select as I'm going, and just by pressing the letter X. And clean this up, and when I'm finished, what I would do is press Q, and then I'll make a decision about how I'm going to delete my background. I could use my layer mask, and the great thing about using a layer mask is what I showed you before in the previous video. If you go to your layer mask, make sure that's selected, you can do the same thing that we were just doing in the quick mask. So I can go through here, notice that there's still an extra layer of background, and I can press the letter X to make sure I have black selected. And while I have the black selected, I can kind of go in and clean this up. Now if my hardness was at 100%, let's look at the difference between how it will look. It's a little bit sharper, and it doesn't give the effect that his fur is fur. It makes it feel like it's more like, I don't know, plastic. So that's why the hardness of your brush makes a difference, and the size. So if you want to still keep that furry feel, then you will want a softer brush. And that's the same, it's the same technique you would use for hair on a person. Have a softer brush, and yeah. And sometimes you have to get rid of things that are actually a part of the object, but sometimes it just looks better when you get rid of certain things, like for instance this nipple. That there's a lot more here, but you know, if it doesn't look good, or if it's not necessary for what I'm trying to do, then I would just get rid of it. As long as it looks right when it's finished. And I would switch, like if I'm working on the toenail, I would switch from the hard brush, from the softer brush to the harder brush, because that toenail is actually going to be, you know, more smooth and not furry feeling. And then I'll go back, change my brush back to soft, and continue working like that. Then after it's all said and done, you know, I will have this image, and I can show my new background that I created, that you guys should know by now how to create. And I'll just make sure it's locked. And then I'm going to make some more edits in the very next video. So stay tuned for that.